What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't. So, after last night's game as well against the Kings, where they lost by 15, 123 to 107, Ty Lue just speaks on the issues and speaking on how he needs to basically fix things and, what's the game plan going forward into fixing, the team. And right now, if you look at it, You can point it to a few things, some rotation issues. I think he said he had Terrence Mann playing like 39 minutes one of these last three games, which it's kind of like, okay, that might not be too bad of a thing. But I mean, maybe they can use a little bit of Bones Highland in there or something. Who knows? Give him a little bit more of a spark. I'm not sure. We could point to a multitude of things, but coaching is definitely an issue. With the Clippers as well. I don't want to exonerate Ty Lue because he just seems a little too nonchalant to me sometimes when the Clippers are not winning. I don't like the nonchalantness that he has in these post games, like they're actually, winning games or they're actually looking good while they're playing, and they're not looking really good at all coming out of the All-Star break. And they look, they look just out of sorts. They look older. They look slower. They just don't look right. You know what I'm saying? And I hope this is not one of the situations where his message is not being delivered to the team well, because as I spoke in my last video about Kawhi Leonard saying that, they're coming out of timeouts and not knowing what they need to do. And that sounds like that falls on the coach to me, because it's like, if you don't know what you need to do coming out of timeouts, then what the hell is Ty Lue's job? What is he there for if he's not putting you in the right position to be the best player you can be, or run the best plays to give you the best opportunity? And, Ty Lue spoke on himself. You look at De'Aaron Fox, playing against the Kings last night. I mean, De'Aaron Fox had like 22 of like his 30-some whatever points in the paint. I mean, it just looked like he was just, running a layup line, and it looked like he was just getting wherever he wanted to. There was really no resistance. Guys just really not, playing up to their potential defensively. And it just looks like now that we're at the stage of this part of the season, after the All-Star break. Now it's like, you had that little layoff, little rest, had your fun in the All-Star break. Now it's like we got to start flipping the switch back on. But see, that's the thing. You can't always flip a switch, even though you got talent. You got to really build the talent from the ground up and push this team to be at another level. And I understand the Clippers haven't been together that long, these 4-star players, so we can't really knock them for that. They're building as quickly as they can, but they just got to hope they build it quickly enough for them to be able to make a run in the playoffs, because the playoffs are going to come so fast. It's like it's just right around the corner. You see what I'm saying? So you have to really fix things. You got to really put things, in flux. You got to put things in rhythm pretty quickly. And I just don't like Ty Lue's nonchalant demeanor and things like that. Maybe that's just how he handles it, so he won't be overly frustrated. Maybe that's his way of doing things, but I can't really say I'm in favor of it, because there's nothing to be nonchalant about. The team is not playing well. They're not really grasping concepts in regards to, how they need to be defensively. And they're definitely not a good rebounding team, with all the small ball that they play. And I feel like Ty Lue really has to, make a better adjustment. I mean, hopefully he don't turn into Doc Rivers and do the same thing that Doc Rivers did a few years ago in the bubble and get the Clippers embarrassed, because, the way they're looking right now and the way they, just little instances in the season, not saying that that's going to happen, but especially the way they look right now, it looks like it's a situation where if he doesn't make a proper adjustment to get the best out of every player on the floor and get them to understand what needs to be done when they come out of timeouts, that can definitely happen. You see what I'm saying? So you don't want to be put in that situation. So with that being said, I really hope Ty Lue kind of like really puts things together and figure things out. And sometimes I think he kind of goes a little overboard with the small ball, because I guess he feels like the Clippers got so much talent they can just outshoot everybody and outscore everybody because they got all these offensive talented players. But in the playoffs, and when you're playing teams that's more desperate, teams that's more hungry, you get the best of teams, especially after the All-Star break, because everybody's trying to make a run at the playoffs. Everybody's trying to get in. Everybody's trying to put their best foot forward. And it's not going to be as, easy as it was possibly. And I'm not saying it was easier before the All-Star break, but teams definitely, put their foot down and be a little bit more stern after the All-Star break, because they want to make it to the playoffs too. They want to be in. They don't want to be sitting in the house watching you play. So, you got to play with that same sense of urgency. And even though you're the Clippers and even though you're one of the best teams in the league, that sense of urgency has to be there. You know what I'm saying? I definitely understand teams go through their little lulls of the season and stuff like that. This could be a little lull, a little downside for the Clippers, and hopefully they pick it back up. I definitely think they can, but they definitely have to, be able to do so, because as I said in my earlier video, you look at their schedule and who they're playing, they need to win some of these games. They just do. Like, they just can't be a situation where you're not winning these type games. And it's like, you got some big matchups coming up. You got the Timberwolves twice. You got the Lakers coming up next. They're going to give you everything they got. You got the Grizzlies again, and that should be a win. But I mean, if you think about how they played against the Grizzlies a few days ago, they barely beat them with all their star players. Paul George didn't miss that game, so it's just a testament to show, like, you got to be ready at any point in time when you step on the floor. You got to be locked and loaded. Now, I know Kawhi going to be there. I know Kawhi going to be locked and loaded. And I know that Russ going to be locked and loaded, but other players on there, I got to, sometimes I got to question their heart ability a little bit, question their ability a little bit. What's between your chest? That's what it comes down to sometimes. It's not about talent. What's between your chest and how is it beaten? Is it beaten to have the dog mentality, or is it beaten, just in regards to, I'm here and I'm showing up and that's all I need to do? See, that's not the mentality you need. You need that dog mentality, that Mamba mentality. That's what's going to get you championship. That's what's going to get you, to the point where it's like you take everything serious. You take it to the point where it's like, we're giving everything we got. We're going out here and we're going to get this number one seed, and we're going to have home court advantage, and we're going to be the best team that we can be. And see, that's the Clippers got to get back to. And hopefully Ty Lue can make some adjustments. But right now, like I said, they don't look good defensively. And the fact that they're not a good rebounding team, that definitely could haunt them in certain matchups. I mean, I remember a game earlier this season where they played the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Cavaliers beat them, maybe not handily, but they pretty much controlled the game how they wanted to because of the size that they had. And Ty Lue is not really utilizing the size that he has on this team. You got Daniel Tice, you got Plumlee, you got Zubac. Now, all three of them combined, they're not really like the best big men in the league probably, but all three of them combined, you got different, you got different superpowers out of each one of them. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to compartmentalize and put them all together to where they can be effective. And sometimes playing the small ball a little too much can come back to haunt the Clippers, because you play a team like Minnesota, when they start using their bigs to go in the paint and just get more easier buckets, and you're settling for threes just because you can outshoot most teams on most nights, that can get you beat in a 7-game series. So Ty Lue, he's going to have to, get off his stubborn horse and kind of really switch some things up. You know what I'm saying? Get some more rebounding in there. Don't just play this small ball crap all the time, because it doesn't always work. And when you're playing teams that actually see your weakness, okay, they're playing small ball, we don't need to try to outshoot them, because we probably can't, because they got good perimeter defenders. So instead of trying to outshoot them, let's just drive to the paint, get them in foul trouble if need be, or drive to the paint because they really don't have like a superior shot blocker, because they're not really using them like that. Even if Zubac, he can block shots, so can Plumlee. Daniel Tice will try to block some shots as well, but they really implement this small ball so much because Ty Lue really wants to go that direction. They're not really utilizing their big men in the form of fashion where they can actually, protect the rim a lot more. And you see somebody like De'Aaron Fox have like 30 points last night, but he gets like 22 of his 30-something points was in the paint, was like 17 feet in almost. So it's like you can't have things like that if you want to be a winning team trying to win a championship. So, I mean, I'm going to need, Ty Lue to fix that, because if he doesn't, like I said, the Clippers can definitely have a wake-up call in the playoffs, and you don't want to have that. Especially, with all the talent you have on this team, you got to find a way to bare minimum make it to the finals. Got to. It's no other way. And like I said, you got to go out there and be at your best. We're not at the playoffs just yet, but I mean, this is pretty much playoff mentality type basketball this part of the season. And, when you're playing at your best, it definitely can translate and carry over. And that's what you want going into the playoffs. So, I mean, I know guys are probably not 100% and, not, all there, but I mean, other teams are not 100% either, but you have to find a way to win. You have to find a way. And like I said, what bothers me about the Clippers is they're not good, rebounding wise, and they really don't, they don't use, I don't think Ty Lue utilizes his big men in the way where they could be a little bit more dominant, defensively. You see what I'm saying? I think that could be a problem. And the rotation sometime, I mean, I know he's trying to put PJ Tucker in there, which he did a few minutes, and I think last game or something like that. But I mean, hopefully it's not a situation where he's trying to appeal to players and try to, experiment too much, because if you do that, that can throw off the rotation of the team and how they play in their rhythm, because, PJ Tucker is in there and he's not, producing really no points like that. And I think like last night's game or something like that, or the night before, Amir Coffey is in there and, he plays 20 plus minutes and I don't think he gets any points. You know what I'm saying? So you have to kind of, make adjustments from what you see that can give your team a better chance of winning. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hopefully Ty Lue, doesn't get in his own way. But, he definitely, is saying that he's going to do his best to make things better. We have to just go by that. And hopefully he's not lying to us, or hopefully he's not sabotaging us or try to sabotage the team or anything like that. And hopefully he definitely puts his best foot forward there, because this team going to have to get better in those areas, because those areas can get you beat in a 7-game series. And they're going to have to clean these things up very soon. And even though you got 4-star players, ain't nothing no guarantee. We've seen Big Three, Miami Heat, teams like that lose in the finals to teams they should have beaten. You know what I'm saying? So just because you got, all the superstars on or the star players in the world on your roster, it doesn't mean it's a guaranteed victory.